for a little while, so I thought I would do one today. We're having quite a nice, relaxed, chilled out day so far. As you can tell, I'm still in my pyjamas. But it's Poppy's third birthday tomorrow, and Charlie doesn't like two very chaotic days on the trot, if you like. So we're just kind of easing ourselves quite nicely into the day. So at the moment he's just downstairs playing with all his musical instruments. He's got them out, so he's got his xylophone. He'll only play on a metal one. He's not fond of a wooden xylophone. It's got to be a metal one, so it's more of a clangy sound. He's got the maracas, the jingle bells. His favourite are the chime bars at the minute. And then this I'm not even sure what it is, to be honest. It's just like a tube with this bit in it. So when you turn it upside down and it moves down, it makes funny, squeaky pitch noises. But he loves it, so that's what he's on with. So I thought today would be a good day to do a reflection video, especially because, well, we're quite a lot of the way through our year of vlogging, and also tomorrow actually marks the day Charlie had his assessment for autism, so that's that's a big deal. So it's 2 years tomorrow. He was diagnosed because he was diagnosed on Poppy's, well, he had the assessment on Poppy's first birthday. So it's crazy, and it just makes you think about how different things were 2 years ago from now. We've been going through CAF meetings, which were basically, for any of you who might not know, because I think they're called different things in different areas. But basically, we get together with our parent support advisor and the children's centre manager, and then anyone else who was involved with Charlie at the time. So if there's speech language or portage and things like that, we'd all get together to say how Charlie was getting on now, and if he needed to refer him on to anywhere else, or if there was things we were concerned about. And I remember one of our first meetings, and our PSA worker Joe had said to us, we need to make some goals that are reachable while we're kind of waiting around for all these assessments and stuff that we can help you with. What's something that you really want? And we said we just want Charlie to be happy, because then he was so frustrated. The world just seemed to be the most frustrating place. Everything in his environment just seemed to make him melt down constantly, and it wasn't good. Or he'd become obsessed with something. I mean, he's obsessed now. Sorry. Ugh. He's still obsessed now with the odd thing. At the minute, his phonics apple. He's really obsessed with his phonics apple. He won't go to bed without it. And his bubble tube and his disco light. But he doesn't have to have it with him all day. As long as he has it at some point in that day, it's okay. Whereas before, he'd become obsessed with something, and then that'd be it. He'd hold that object all day long, and you get no eye contact, no nothing. You could be talking to him, you could be trying to show him something, and he just looks straight through you. So he was really stuck, if you like, in this little bubble, in his own little world. And despite everything we were trying to do, obviously we were trying just normal parenting techniques and stuff to help his development, but it seemed everything we do, or we try and doctor things so it'd be more Charlie appropriate for where his mental ability, if you like, was at. It just seemed like Charlie would just keep switched off from everything. And then, he started nursery, and that was a massive concern. I mean, the nursery that even now looking back, I wouldn't have changed where he went. It's a really sweet little nursery. In fact, Poppy's actually at the same nursery now. And because there was only a small amount of children, and the staff were really nice, and Charlie had been to some groups from the children's centre in that nursery building, so we knew the building, so we thought, well, that will help, because obviously he'll be more at ease, because he knows the environment he's going into. So yeah, there'll be different children and different faces and different adults than what he's used to, but at least one thing was familiar, so that would help. And even though to anyone outside it probably didn't look like he was making much he didn't look like he was making much process. I just can't get my words out today. It didn't to anyone outside, it didn't look like things were kind of happening for Charlie, if you like. But then at nursery, he tried an apple. I remember the day he tried an apple, which is probably my fault he doesn't like apples now, because I was so excited that he ate some apples. Oh jeez, I kept buying apples and be like, oh Charlie, let's eat some apples, just because it was amazing. Because his diet was very extremely limited then, even more so than now. And he'd do stuff like eating apples, and he'd go up to children and be like, just be calm around children. That was like a massive thing, because he couldn't even normally cope with like a other child near him, or a other child making any noise. So the fact that he was like in a setting and there was kids around him and he was calm, that was good. He also had like a special place he could go to in the which was actually in the kitchen, for if you see like everything was a bit too much. It was like Charlie's like little timeout kind of area, where like not timeout as in being naughty, but you know, where you could go and think, right, I can just kind of gather myself, and had a big garden and stuff. And he made some like really cute little relationships with some of the little girls there and stuff. And then that's where his love of music started to take off, and it all started with a metal xylophone, and then it just kind of progressed from there. And because he found that one instrument that was like really wicked, then he wanted to try other instruments, like, oh, what sound does this make? So it was like putting the platforms in place to build on, if you like. And then we went to look at Woodlands Academy, which obviously is amazing. I mean, Charlie's there now. And that was like, it was crazy. We've been seeing mainstream school, actually, which obviously I'm not going to name. And they'd said to us, when we'd said about Charlie's needs and stuff, we're saying, look, we don't know if mainstream's going to be the right thing for Charlie. I mean, it might be maybe a lot further into his future, but now we're a bit on the fence. We're not too sure really where we're going to go, what we're going to do. Obviously, we need to look around a few schools, and SEND schools and normal school, if you like, to figure out what would be better and what place would be better and stuff. So we said, obviously, all of our concerns about him being in the mainstream school, said, what support would be provided for Charlie, how would you cope with him, if you like, in the classroom, would Charlie have his own space where he could go, and things like that. And after like pouring our heart out about everything that we were like absolutely petrified about, they just said, we can give him a corner. I was like, right, Charlie's not coming to this school, he's just not. And then we went to see Woodlands Academy, and oh my goodness, we were sat in the reception waiting, and we were just looking around like, oh, this is amazing. Bear in mind, we'd never ever been in the Woodlands Academy before until this point. And we were just looking around like, wow. Bear in mind, we'd not seen like anybody or anything yet. And we like just that feeling of calm, and like it was like a nice, calm, happy environment. Like everything seemed like really relaxed. All the staff in reception were like super duper friendly. And then as we went into the class, which if Charlie accepted his place, which obviously he wasn't, who his teachers would be, like the kids in his class, and it was just amazing. Like one little boy wanted to cuddle Dean, which was really sweet. And then one of the boys ran off with my Oasis bottle and thought he was, and my Perspectives, and he thought he was really, really funny. And he was so cheeky and lovely. And it was just amazing. And everything they showed us, and they showed us like light and dark sensory rooms and the playgrounds and the gardens, and they talk about what they do and going out on the minibus, and everything they said, we're like, oh, that's so Charlie. Oh my God, that's so Charlie. Oh, Charlie would love that for everything. And we left that school like, right, we're fighting from now to get him here, because we're not prepared to send him to any other school. Like, this is the school. We didn't bother with looking at any other schools, SEND schools, even though there's like quite a lot in our area, like in different directions. But we saw it and we just knew, like when you go to nursery to, sending your child to nursery and stuff, and you just know that is the one. We just knew with Woodlands that this was the place that he needed, like not the place that we just wanted him to be, but he needed that. Everything they offered, he needed that like so bad, so things could start being up instead of going like this, or just straight downhill. And for the first week we travelled with Charlie to and from school, and so he'd go around Scarborough like, oh no, like, cause he just did half days at first, and like we bring him home. And even from the first day we took him in, Charlie actually, when we handed him over to his teacher, and I went to give him a kiss, he said, oh, have a lovely first day, Charlie, Mummy and Daddy are going to come at home time. And he pushed me away and just held on to his teacher's hand and happily went in. And I was just like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I was really, really pleased. Like, I was really happy and willing to go in. But, like, I was expecting it to be a lot harder for Charlie. But he just kind of took to it, like, really straight away. And then, at first, he found it too much to be in the classroom. So he wanted to work in the corridor. So the teacher was like, that's fine, we'll work in the corridor. And then they slowly got him into the classroom. And I remember the first day we knew he'd been in this class, it was actually his proud book day. And he's a picture come home with Charlie, sitting with all his class friends around the table, having snack. And that was like winning the lottery. It was like, he's gone in his classroom, he's eating a snack. That is not his normal snack, and he's around other children. It was like, this is absolutely like amazing. I think I cried about 4 days, like I just couldn't stop. But then it's like, you know, Charlie used to be in this bubble. He didn't like kids, he didn't want to interact, he didn't want to really know anything apart from his only interests, like the things he was only interested in. Anything else just didn't matter, like anything outside his comfort zone. It was like he managed to somehow completely shut off from it in his mind, and it's like it didn't affect him because to him it wasn't there. Whereas like now he's doing amazing things which to other people might not seem like, you know, when you get the parents with like neurotypical children, if you like, and like, oh well, our kid was doing that when they were like 3 months old, or our kid was this age, and or they've been doing that for ages or whatever. And it's like, but he's, you know, he's painting, he's making models, he's doing Play-Doh, he's making cupcakes. He goes out on the minibus, he goes to different places, and he's not freaked out. Like he embraces it, like he enjoys something different as opposed to being very fearful of it. Like he goes to seek out the attention of his staff. He'll use his communication cards. He started putting his his PEX cards together to make sentences at home, and it's just like, it feels like, because things are so good with Charlie right now, it feels like it was more than 2 years ago when things were like so difficult for him and like so awful. I mean, obviously he still has his bad days now, just like any other child would, you know, regardless of whether, you know, you're on the spectrum or, you know, just kids in general. You all have your days, even as adults, when you're having a really bad day, and your mood just be really bad, or you just can't be bothered, and you have like a really crap time. But it's like, it's so far and few that Charlie's having a bad day. And we had a meltdown a while ago, and Charlie was punching and kicking me in the face, he was pulling my hair. And this is all because it was 10 o'clock at night and he decided it was playtime, and I said no. And that's what kicked it off. And so I was being punched, kicked, pinched, everything, you name it. Like Charlie was laying into me like a punching bag. And that you forget like how awful meltdowns can be to deal with when you haven't had one for ages, because then it's like he's kind of put it to the back of his head and it's just built and built and built and built, and then poof, like exploded everywhere. But it's amazing to kind of look back and think how absolutely petrified we were of school and starting therapies and getting a statement, securing his place at school, nursery, and we were like so petrified. And now I'm just like, wow, we feel like Woodlands is just the best place on earth. And even though obviously Poppy is, if you look, you know, what the name they give for Poppy, so, you know, a neurotypical, and, you know, going to a mainstream school, and she knows what school she wants to go to, what her friends are going to, and I said today, it's going to feel really hard, because with Charlie we had to like think about things so much more and in so much more detail, make sure that everything was so bang on. I mean, obviously we'll be like that with Poppy, but with Charlie, with his additional needs, it was like, you know, extra effort, if you like, had to be put into that to make it good, if that makes sense. I don't mean that to sound awful, because I really don't mean it that way. And I said, every school I'm going to look at with Poppy, or the school we're thinking about taking, I'm going to look and I'm just going to feel like, because I'm so used to Woodlands, and obviously Charlie's my first child going to Woodlands, it's going to feel like I'm always going to be comparing every other school to Woodlands Academy, just because we just love it so much. And it's even things like going to see him in his plays at school. Like, he'll actually go on a stage in front of a hall full, and it's always full, like so many parents go, siblings go, and then there's, you know, all the children from the school and people even around all the edges of the hall. Like, everyone just enjoys being in that environment so much, and for Charlie to be in that room without being on the stage is amazing, but then to be on the stage and to be with his class friends and to be singing and to, you know, be dancing and doing his little performance and stuff and loving it, and then everyone claps and he's just like over the moon and he starts clapping like, yeah, everyone's really pleased because I did good. And it's just things like that. Every time you see it, it feels like the first time you've seen it. Like, you don't ever get bored of that. You don't get ever, ever get bored of the feeling, or all these steps that seem so minute and tiny, and they're actually massive. They're just massive achievements, and that's why I thought it was really important to do our blog as well. So yeah, obviously you've heard about days when things haven't been so good, but you also get all this lovely positivity, and that's what we need to focus in on to help our children to thrive and develop, and to figure out, to get into their worlds and understand their worlds instead of trying to get them to understand ours. So I'll stop now, because I've been doing it for 15 minutes and we only normally do like 5-minute videos. And it'll probably take ages to start to go through its editor and all stuff, like Dean does all that. But I hope you are all having a wicked day, guys, and enjoy some sunshine, because we've got glorious sunshine here in Whitby. It's freezing this morning and now it's absolutely rafting. So we're off out this afternoon and stuff. So I hope you're all having a wicked day, and if you have any pictures you would like to share of what you've been up to with your kids or yourselves in the summer holidays, we would love to see it. Take care, guys. Bye.